Welcome everyone to another episode of Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
I'm Kirk.
And I'm Handy.
And I'm slowly dying. But we got Boom and Ocm's here with us. How you doing, guys?
What the hell?
Alright, both of you fucking suck at life.
Yeah, are you guys using voice changers? Or are you yelling at us from across a cornfield?
No.
Ocm.
How did you know?
Do I sound all fucked up?
These crop circles aren't going to measure themselves.
Just don't use your dick. Don't use your dick. You'll be there all day.
I'm making the crop circles.
Hello.
Hey, crop circles still exist?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're a thing.
Aliens.
Really? I thought that shit was died out in the 90s.
Nah, man. M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong fucking revived that shit.
With what movie?
Nah, I hated those. I know I so much.
Signs, man.
Oh. Hey, V, ready? How's it going today?
Good, how are you?
Good, man.
You were wrong. It wasn't p.m. It's 9:30 p.m. So, yeah, it's a better time for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I lied to make your day better. My bad.
No, because 7:30 I would have got on. That's why.
Right. You know, I keep forgetting the time zone difference between India and the West Coast of the United States. I always know it's a 30-minute difference just because India has to be 30-minute different from everybody for whatever reason.
No, there are a lot of countries that have 30 minutes, dude. It's not just India.
Yeah.
Which other countries?
Go open up your phone and check. There are tons.
I'm gonna do that right now. See what happens.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that. But
No, I don't think so. I've seen it before.
I've never seen it except for India.
For East Coast, we are 9.5 hours and 10.5 hours, depending on daylight savings. So West Coast will be, I guess, 12.5 hours and 13 hours. You guys are 3 hours difference, right, from East Coast?
East Coast to West Coast, yeah.
Well, anyways, how does everybody love this new arc?
It is by far the most unengaging arc. I mean, it's worse than Bog Mega Cube the first time it came around. I still played that arc. This arc, literally, I've barely been playing.
Yeah. This.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So it says India isn't the only country with an unusual time zone setup. Some Australian states, Sri Lanka, St. John's, and Canada and Nepal are 45 minutes offset.
Yeah, I got one that says French Polynesia, Marquesas Islands, Canada, Newfoundland, Iran, Australia, South Australia, and then Lord Howe Island, and 45 minutes is New Zealand, the Chatham Islands.
If you're in the same group as Canada, you done fucked up. So
You're done fucked up. That reminds me of who is it? You ever watch Key and Peele? The substitute teacher dude. You guys know what I'm talking about?
The show. I don't know the particular skit you're talking about.
It's he's like, he's a substitute teacher. He's like, I've been teaching inner city kids for 25 years. And then like there was a skit like, gonna take roll call. It's like, Jake Quellen, where you at? Jake Quellen. Do you mean Jacqueline? Son of a bitch. Like, say your name right. Anyway, so there's one part where he's like, you done fucked up, AA Ron. We're gonna go to war. You and me, we're gonna go to war. That's so when somebody says you done fucked up, that's what I keep thinking about. Mr. Garvey, that's his name.
Boom, you're gonna have to talk into your microphone or something.
Okay, I think we went off topic, but what do you guys think of the arc?
Garbage.
I think it's good. I think it's good. So I said it in the last session that we had that I thought it was a good thing because number one, it lets you choose what you want. Yeah, the rewards aren't freaking spectacular. However, it allows you to choose what you need. So for like me, I pretty much just need tritanium. I'm pretty much good on everything else, but I need tritanium. And so it's allowing me to trade it in for a bunch of tritanium and the crystal and stuff like that. So it gives you a lot more movement and what you require. And for people who are free / budget to play, the new ship is really great at allowing you to get more latinum so that you can get more speed ups and things like that. So I mean, overall, for someone like me, someone in my position, I mean, it's fantastic, and it's one of the better ones as far as something that I can use. That ship is another thing that I will be able to use forever to be able to get some of these resources that I'm usually low on, which is like latinum and stuff.
Can I add something to that? So basically, the Dabo tokens are really good, but I was more worried about the fact that the events are very unengaging. Like, there are days like I finish my event in 5 minutes and I'm just sitting there staring at my screen. I mean, it's quite boring. And number two, the problem with this ship is it's exactly like the old Devour before they got the research in. So the higher you go, the amount your mining rate doesn't increase that much, but the amount you need for refining increases a lot more. So in essence, now which takes you 2 hours to 3 hours will take you 5 hours or 8 hours later, which is stupid is what I mean. It's too much mining. They should continue. They should shorten your time, not increase it.
Yeah, so in other words, like as you tier up, unlike a lot of other things, you end up losing time.
Exactly.
So essentially, you get to a point where if you want to refine max every day, you have to mine that concentrated latinum 24/7.
Exactly. That's the reason why I stopped using the old Devo in the first place. I maxed it. I won every Latinum event, and I stopped using it. And only after the research came in is when I started using it again because it made sense. You just mine for 15, 20 minutes or half an hour, and then at least you can refine. So you mine one day for 5, 6 hours, you're good for a month or 2 months.
Yeah, I've done that myself as well. And I'm actually about to be out of the original raw latinum because I never got a second Devour because I mean, who really needs one? So
I had 4 max Devours. Because I needed it for lat. I needed it for lat mining event because everybody has better ships than me. So my competitive edge is to mine lat.
well, I only had the one. So
You have 4 max Devours. 4?
I have 4 max Devours and the 5th one is T7. Now I scrapped 2, so I only have 3 left. But yeah,
Holy shit.
and I didn't spend anything on it except the $20 I spent on the original Devour. Everything is because I won so. I won almost every lat event in my old server, and in the middle I stopped mining for a bit, and then now I win every event again because the resources are crazy good in 50 plus. I mean, 14.4 billion dilithium per week. That's a good injection. So I would definitely compete for that one.
yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, that would make sense because I would like never win the lat mining events, so I would never get all those Devour parts.
Yeah, I basically won almost every event for a long time. for years, for a year or 2 years, I think. In the middle, for a few months, I stopped. I mean, even when I wasn't mining lat, I was still winning because I had the fastest on my old server. I had the fastest mining chips. So even if I was mining G4, I was still winning. So it just kept stacking up. So I ended up having 4 max Devours and 1 T7, which now I lost 2 of. But yeah, I'm going to lose this lat Monday. And by the way, this event, we only 3-4. There are 3 people from us who have come up to 50 as of yesterday. So it's going to be a little tough now.
Yeah, because I still need like 120,000 Devour parts to max my Devour.
I literally haven't even calculated. I just used to accumulate, and in fact, I think After my fourth one, I maxed it in one go. I had so many parts just saved up because I just didn't. I was saving up my loyalty tokens, and then suddenly the duo unlocked, and I just maxed it. But I just kept accumulating. I mean, you refine every day, you win every ladder event, they end up adding up.
Yeah, I would refine lat every day, but I'd never get enough parts.
The ladder event definitely helped.
Moving on. What else does people like about the new org?
Like,
I mean, I kind of like the new ship slot.
Yeah, I love the dock. The dock is outstanding.
I haven't spent money on the dock.
I wonder if we're still looking at the unintended consequences, because I know Scopely hasn't thought them out of what the extra dock will do.
Well, how do you mean?
It makes potentially bases far harder to crack.
No, there's no gun. There's no gun, only a dock. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
but you
help.
can
It
put a
doesn't
ship
change
in
Yeah,
it.
but you've got another ship there.
Oh, okay, yeah. But who really keeps all the ships in? I mean, I have a question, truthfully. Who keeps all the ships in anyway?
Idiots.
I do.
There you go.
I literally never have all my ships in, ever.
I do. If I'm not playing the game, then, well, at least right now we're at war. So if I leave a ship out, it's going to get blown up. But
Yeah, I'm at war. I get blown up. But what I do is, I leave my ship. Let's say I'm going to sleep. I'll throw 3 or 4 miners into TP. It'll mine what it mines. If it gets killed, it gets killed. At least I get some mining out of it. So I don't mind. I mean, it's so cheap.
no, it doesn't. Not really.
Well, there's some.
But at the same time, like, ooh, so I get, 100K of G5 whatever. I mean, that's one refine. I don't know. I don't think it's worth the effort.
Exactly. So it's better than nothing. My concept is it's better than nothing.
I suppose. You still have to summon it up there and all that crap.
Yeah, that's the reason why I picked up 2 mycelium packs from the event store. Because everybody like, why? I'm like, trust me, I need it. Don't up too much. I need the mycelium.
Yeah.
So 1 million should last me till next event store. So I'm good.
I should hope so. How often do you summon? Like every couple of minutes?
Nah. What I do is I usually throw on my G5 miners in the night. Usually they don't get killed for at least till I get about 50, 60K because nobody's looking that hard. I mean, to get to the G5 takes you a while. Sometimes I get killed, sometimes earlier, but usually I end up getting 50,000. So I end up getting my dailies done. So then in the day, I don't care. I just send my miners out to G4 space. They get killed, I resend it. They get killed, I resend it. I don't give a shit because it's so cheap to repair.
Yeah. Which is why it always blows my mind how people really spend a lot of time hunting miners. Like,
In fact, they are spending more time and wasting more of the time finding me than I am spending just sending the ship back.
yeah, of course. But that's the funny part is
Yeah.
people spend so much time looking for these freaking miners. It's like, dude, don't you have anything better to do?
Yeah, thrill the hunt.
That's not a thrill. Killing a miner is a thrill. You get a thrill out of that often, really?
No, I get a thrill knowing that I'm making very small payments into destroying their will. I don't get it all at once. I'm just giving them paper cuts.
You're not, though. Truthfully, you're not.
Because most people are like,
Oh, yeah,
you
I
ready,
am.
where they don't give a shit. They don't care.
I really don't. I literally got my miner killed 152 times today. I don't care.
So it's like you're basically desensitizing people. So if people aren't used to their miners getting blown up, then yes, absolutely, you're gonna affect them in some way. But at some point, there's diminishing returns. At some point, people are just gonna go, I got blown up again. What do I give a shit? I'll send it back out. So, and it happens pretty quicker than you'd think. They just don't give a shit anymore, and they keep sending it back.
most people just aren't wired that way, and they continue to give a shit. especially if you keep blowing them up so that they can only mine a little bit at a time.
Yeah, that just takes so much time out of your day to make sure that happens.
Not when you split it up between a couple hundred people.
I mean, during a war, I get it. It's a necessary evil during a war, sure, but
Yeah, I don't really do it much when we're not at war, but yeah, during a war, definitely. And it does take some time, but there is some fun to hunt and find and blow up their ships. It's not about it being a miner because, think about actual hunting. Like, it's not like the deer is armed and is a threat to me. It's not about that.
do you spend more time looking for warships? Like, in other words,
I just go around looking for ships, period. And if it's a warship, miner,
For
whatever.
me, I generally go for the armadas and their ships, warships that are running around. That's most of the kills. My kills are like that because I'm not really a minor killer. Once in a while, I go sweep territory. I go sweep G5 and higher G4 because most of my guys can't get there. But otherwise, I'm not really a minor killer unless there are 3-4 guys who I really don't like, I dislike, and people who really hate me all the time. If I find them, I'll kill them. But I'm not really hunting for miners. For me, I rather go hunt the warships. Yes, I think I blew up a lot of armadas. So that's more fun, dude. You're actually killing their warships. That's more
Yeah.
fun. What's the fun
It
in
is.
killing a miner?
Point is, you got to kill them all.
oh, I agree.
Yeah, you basically time it. You time it and get there 1 minute before the armada. So they don't have time to come back, and then you wipe them out. They can't go to come back.
All right, so definitely kill everybody. Got it.
The war of attrition. You get enough of your people organized that it becomes an onslaught, that they can't do their events, they can't do their dailies, and then you keep it up for months.
Yeah, but after months, people just get used to shit, and it becomes a habit, and then there's just no end.
Not my experience. That's how we crush wills.
Yeah, I've been at war almost 8 months. I mean, I really don't care anymore. It took me a couple of weeks to get used to it because I was not in a warring alliance before this. I was a peaceful miner. Nobody could get me. I was happy. But now it really doesn't matter. Once you go through it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you really don't care after that. Especially when you have so many resources that a miner, is 120,000 or 130,000 tritanium, it doesn't even pinch you.
Yeah, I get it. Ocm. So, how does it, in your experience, work out in the end?
Breaks their will.
And what's the result?
They don't fuck with you anymore. Because that's what it's all about. It's the social context. You and this other alliance rubbed up against each other in some way or some form. Somebody wronged somebody else. Nobody wronged anybody. Two biggest kids on the block. Doesn't matter. You've got two alliances that are in conflict. Generally, those alliances want some sort of behavioral, operational change to occur in the other alliance. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, but both alliances are looking for that.
Then one of them's going to win and one of them's going to lose.
So how do you reconcile that? Like, really?
Or one of them will win and one of them will lose.
And how do you decide who the winner is at the end?
So
We make them surrender.
after we've taken all your territory, 1/3 to 2/3 of your alliance mates have left the alliance because that alliance is no longer viable for them. And they come to their senses and say, we would like out of this war. And we will go, all right, here's our punitive surrender terms.
All right. So you think it's effective to also take their territory?
Absolutely. It crushes their will.
And how do you typically go about that? Do you just, your biggest alliance drops all their territory and goes and takes their shit, has somebody else backfill for them, or what do you do?
Typically, we'll find a third-party alliance that we are not allied with, but maintain good relations, and say, hey, would you like to increase your territory? Or would you like territory? Would you like these guys' territory? And they go, yeah. And sometimes they'll say no. Oh, no. They'll be constantly trying to take it back. We don't want that headache. And then some will go, yeah, we'd like a seat at the territory table. And we'd be like, outstanding. We will evict them from that territory and it'll be yours.
And how do you go about that?
I mean, personally, I kick the living dog piss out of the other alliance. You know, we organize the same way we do everything. We organize, we motivate. Our guys come in, we sweep. We have tactics that we use, and we get them out. We clear them out, and we do all the fighting because we're not accumulating points. The alliance that is going to be taking over that territory, they just have to stay alive and get points. So all they have to do is just show up and stay alive. And
The trick is finding an alliance willing, that has people that are willing
Absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
Because if their members aren't willing to actually do it, then they're not going to score enough points.
That's a good point. But that's why you got to ID the right ones. That's why there's alliances that we are neutral with, but we get along with okay.
Yeah.
We don't, our only interactions are within our row, and we go about the day, and leadership from our various alliances and their alliances, can chat cordially, and when one of their knuckleheads or one of my knuckleheads rubs up and finds one of their knuckleheads in the game, they rub up against each other. We handle it, but we just go, as long as it didn't get nasty in PMs or whatnot, we just go, my knucklehead found your knucklehead. Ha ha. I'll step on my guy. You step on your guy. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far, I've not had trouble finding alliances to step in.
Well, that's good. We've had trouble with alliances like wanting to see punitive measures towards our players. Like, let's say Knucklehead 1 goes and hits Knucklehead 2 in another alliance, and then Knucklehead 2's alliance wants us to show them we've punished our player. And it's like, talking to the guy is usually enough. Like, we don't have issues with our players like this on a regular basis. We just don't. It's never a pattern. It's like somebody gets mad for, a couple minutes, does something, and we talk to them, and they don't do it again.
Yeah, we tell people to fuck right off with that. Like, how we operate and handle our members is entirely up to us. If you have a hit complaint and they messed up and broke our ROE, yeah, we're gonna talk to them. We may even we have kind of a 3-strike rule, and we may do additional punishment, but that's all internal. It's not their business.
Yeah, it's really not, and I agree with that totally.
If you never know how an alliance really runs unless you're in it, and I'm sure that there are a number of alliances on our server that say that we let our players get away with everything. But honestly, you think if one of my guys is fucking around in game, he's fucking up in game, and now I'm the person he has to deal with. Really, you think he's gonna get a pass?
No, of course not.
I kick him in the nuts.
You're all talk.
Yeah, I'm all talk. Yeah, I'm all talk. He's got my number. I'm all talk.
Yeah, that's just interesting.
I'm already regretting promoting you, Ocm.
Czar handed me off the seat. I don't think you had anything to do with it.
Dream off.
You can demote him anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start a movement. Demote Ocm.
It'd get a lot of votes.
Make a hashtag out of it. Post it on Twitter. Have a trend.
Hashtag Demote Ocm.
It's only day 2 of being an admiral, and I'm pretty sure that there's revolutionary splinter cells being developed.
Nice. So glad you're well liked.
Yeah, they know what I get. You know, I'm unpredictable.
In the wrong direction.
It's so weird that we've stopped talking about this terrible arc for anything else we can talk about.
I mean,
Well, because there's not much going on. It's a whole it's about a whole bunch of miners and Ferengi. I mean, everybody loves the Ferengi or not, but what the fuck, you know?
I found the one guy on our server that likes this arc. I found him.
Yeah.
He's it. He's got 3 of those new Devores. He's already got a T. Yesterday, he had a T10, a T3, and a T1. So that dude is loving this fucking arc. He's all in. But he's the only one I've found.
Oh, I have a question. I have a question for everybody. When is everybody gonna go fuck everything except for a new Devore on these new lat nodes?
We already did.
It's already done.
Yeah, we've already done.
We did that. I think we did that before the ship came out.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if somebody's on one of those nodes with anything other than the new Devore, and you need that node, fucking blow them up.
Yeah, because I see way too many faction miners on those nodes. I just want to blow them up to blow them up.
Well, if there's open nodes, it doesn't really matter, like whatever. But if there's no open nodes, then just blow them up.
Well, I don't want to mine it. I just want to blow them up.
Well, there's no point in that. I mean, you do you, Tech, but
Well, I don't know.
Interestingly enough, somebody did the math on it, and I want to say it's the Horizon, a T9 Horizon with the lat speed crew is actually faster than the new Devore until you get it to, I think, like tier 3, which is kind of entertaining, but we don't care. We're blowing it up anyway.
Jesus, somebody did the math on that. Good God.
We got math and spreadsheet assassins. I shit you not. I shit you not.
that's amazing.
We have nerd assassins in our alliance.
Well, that's a good thing.
I think this arc is a good example of how Scopely doesn't play their game enough, and they're just looking at research numbers. And this is how research and statistics can skew things. Because they've mentioned before how, we complain about Lat Rush on Monday, and they're like, oh, it's one of our actually most favored events. And I'm pretty sure what they're looking at is just engagement rate, like how many people score, etc. And part of the problem is that that's not really a telling factor, because so many people are naturally, because this is a resource game, just mining, and sending a miner out once to get some points, etc., is so much easier than any other type of event you might do. So you'll see a higher engagement rate just because people already have miners out, or to send a miner takes like 5 seconds, but you're not truly engaged in the game when you're doing that. And I think that's where the divergence is they're not looking at actual game engagement. They're just looking at numerical data, and it's not telling them the true story. That's the only reason I can think of that they would stop and think that, oh my God, a mining arc, this is what we need. This will get even more people engaged. But it's not really the type of engagement they're looking for.
Right. Yeah, that's incredibly accurate.
Plus, you don't know how sloppily they're gathering their data. I mean, they could be going, look at this huge uptake in units of materials that are being mined on every Lat Rush Monday now. It shot up, it doubled, it tripled. People are really into this. No, you just made it so that with the Devore research, so much more can be mined in the same amount of time. So it's no more effort, but more is being, accomplished because of the research and the Devore.
I would be interested to see if they're looking at the actual numbers of how much somebody's mined or how long they've spent mining.
Yeah. I mean, Lat Rush is also an event that you can
Yeah.
make a pretty good run at the solo leaderboard or your alliance leaderboard contributions with passive engagement
Sure.
compared to like a grinding event where you actually got to put in the screen time. Whereas, hey, log in a few times a day, reset, bring your miners in. So, Lat Rush is something that people who don't have massive amounts of screen time can still be competitive in, unless you're, flipping lat miners all day long. I'm divorced.
Yeah.
Which we have some people that do. They run 2-3 divorce. And that's how they contribute for their alliance, man. They're actively flipping those divorce all day long.
Yeah, do that. I do. I do about 4-5 miners, but I mean, when I'm awake, I don't stay awake and mine like some people. But yeah, it's not that difficult. I'm in the car. You're going out. It takes about 27 minutes or 24 minutes to finish a node or fill up your cargo. You just get back in every 25 minutes, reset your doors, and go do your own thing. It's still not that bad, as you say. It's not that difficult.
Well, if you're really crazy about it, you go and take the nodes in Sullivan, and then you're filling them up every couple minutes, and you're rotating a lot, but you're also scoring lots of points.
Yeah, I don't do Suliban because Suliban is too contested, so I don't bother. I usually go to one of the deep space systems and just put my base there and send out 5 miners and take over 5 mines around it and just reset them every 20 minutes.
But that could be your fun. I mean, there's only 3 nodes in Sulaban, so you're bringing a warship to guard your Devore. You're probably going to be scrapping over that node all day while you're there.
3 mines in Suliban. I have 5 miners, and there's no way I'm going to be able to protect all 3 mines in Suliban. It's not possible.
Especially with cloaking now.
Yeah, exactly. Like nowadays, people cloak hit me. I don't even know who the hell hit me. It irritates me. Yeah, I actually don't like Latman. Do it for the rewards. Let's say that. I want to add to your point.
I'm so bored by the new lat mining shit that like I'm passing over killing OPL fichas or whatever they're called.
But that could be, that can be a pretty good source. I mean, at least I guess for the OPC hunters, they have another thing that they're like, I don't want to mine it, but I'll just take it from other people, and that'll be my refining route. So,
Oh, I like this one dude who's mining with an amalgam.
that was another ship, like when the amalgam came out, we got ahead of that, and we just said, hey, you know what? An amalgam, as far as we're concerned, is a warship. There's only one reason for it to come out of your docks, so no protection.
That's true. There is no reason for it to come out of your dock unless you're doing one thing.
For a raid. So, yeah. I mean, because we could see shenanigans. Like, guys putting it on a node saying it was mining close to one of your raids so they could dart in or pre-positioning and stuff like that. And we're like, stuff we've seen before. We're like, nah, we're just going to get ahead of this for once. We seen a Amalgam, we're blowing it up. It's a raid ship.
Hey, medic.
I invited him on stage.
Medic.
Hey, sorry, I wasn't watching my phone. Stuffed it in my pocket with my ear.
No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't watching my phone.
How's war going?
It's going good. It's we're having a lot of fun.
That's good. I would really like to hear how you think it was started and the reasons you're in the war.
Apparently there was some sort of
From your perspective. From your personal perspective.
yeah, I mean as far as I know there was some sort of miscommunication over a peaceful transfer versus a challenge transfer. where we had and which was it? Deportus? One of Salt's territories, anyway. And I know Fluffy was continually reaching out to Salt to try to do, make things peaceful transfer. And then I think after two or three, something like that, they decided to, yeah, that's fine. We'll just do a peaceful transfer. And I guess there was some miscommunication between them and you guys, and you guys thought we forced them out or something. And
No, that's not exactly correct. It's very close to the truth. But what actually happened is the whole
and
time.
keep in mind, Handy, I'm not in leadership anymore. So
I know. Well,
okay.
that's why I'm correcting, or that's why I want to talk about it, because I believe a lot of people in your alliance think what happened is what happened, right? But it's not exactly true. So I'll just kind of lay out the facts without making it sound like my opinion. So you know what I'm saying, right? Because I just want to lay out facts, right? And let other, you can decide what's true or what isn't. But I'll just lay out facts as I know them. So yeah, Fluffy did reach out to Salt to, talk about taking it peacefully. And through that talk, Salt had said, no, we don't want to give it up. We'd like to wait till we have a different place to go. We don't want to be stuck with one territory that doesn't give us anything we need. And then talk started, but nothing ever got done. Like it was like, hey, why don't you find a new place to go? That'd be great. And of course it would be great. Nobody has to fight over it. So through all that, it was never agreed it was going to be a peaceful transfer. It was just, hey, we're coming for it. We're going to come take it. And then 2 minutes before, the actual takeover started, that's when Salt decided, you know what, we don't want to fight over it. We know we're going to lose because we're not prepared. So we're going to drop it. So that's how it happened. It was never a peaceful transfer. It was, hey, we don't want to fight over it. So here you go. So that's it.
I think the war part.
Well, the war part of it was really just Epi. He got upset at how the conversation went and declared war.
Sorry, you guys couldn't hear me. So it was it was a peaceful takeover. They said, they did make the decision that no, okay, we're not going to fight for it. And
that's true. That's true. But the narrative has been, well, we didn't push them out, but yes, you did.
We didn't push them out. They still have their T3. I mean, we could drop, Frampton and come in and take Brelin and have 2 T3s, but we're not like that. I mean, you started the whole peaceful transition of, of territories. And we were the only ones that I know of to say, yeah, we'll drop our T3 and start sharing it with people. And that was Nearheimer. And ever since that happened, probably a year ago, we haven't had a T3. And then all of a sudden, after you guys started the whole peaceful transfer, then you guys decided, well, we're just going to go in and wipe out Koba because we want their territory. So that kind of ended that peaceful transfer. And we're sitting there and we're working on trying to get a T3, Nothing's working out. So we took it. I mean, we're the number 4 alliance on the server. So, you guys are the number 1. You have a T3. There's 5 or 6 T3s to go around. So we definitely,
here's the biggest misconception, Medic. Nobody has an issue with what your alliance has done.
Okay. So, so what's the issue then?
That's what I'm saying. The issue comes in to where we're told things and then different things get done. Does that make sense? So I don't like to use the word lie because I don't think anybody lied intentionally, but we were misled multiple times. And that gets very frustrating because when you talk to somebody and they say, we're going to do this, you go, okay, cool. Great. Like, I wish your leadership didn't say anything to us and just did what they did. Then we wouldn't even be at war.
Well, but aren't you?
Because nobody has an issue with MBD taking territories. Like, if you have the power to take it, take it. I mean, that's what the game's all about. The issue comes into when.
But then why is Inch threatening war and demanding screenshots by a certain time, or it's going to be war over deport us? I mean, it sounds like there's a communication issue between you guys and your allies.
No.
Even though it was explained to him that that's what happened, that they dropped it, that we didn't force them out of deport us. They dropped it. I mean, I guess he wasn't on for the takeover, so he also didn't know how it went down.
No, he knew. The issue comes in when Epi told us that you guys weren't going for it. You didn't want it. Because if we had known that you guys did want it, then we could have put up an actual defense. So it was like a. I can't hear you. Hang on one sec.
I gotta say, I'm getting more confused. What the fuck?
Well, that's why this is so fucking confusing. All right, Inch, go ahead.
Hi, guys. So let me unclusterfuck this a little bit. Or as they say, let's unpack this. What Handy is saying is absolutely correct. Like, as part of this game, taking TC, totally legit. Like we were talking about even last week, I was surprised it took you guys so long to move out of where you were. The difference is that mere days before, on two separate occasions, Epi specifically told myself in one conversation and Handy in a totally separate conversation that the intention was for you guys to go north and not south. That was it. When you have in-game lying, and then, subsequent to that, there have been weird psyops stuff, kind of craziness, but that's specifically it. And I can't imagine anybody with a straight face saying, oh, there was a peaceful takeover when one alliance is getting their shit taken and not getting anything in return. Like, how anybody can justify that is, oh yeah, they said it was cool. No, they knew they were going to get their ass kicked and they dropped it so they don't waste speed ups and RSS. Like,
Which in of itself is fine.
Yeah, so they made a smart decision. How is it our job to find them a new home? I mean, they're still sitting on one T3.
It's not.
I would have thought by now they would have found somewhere else.
It's absolutely not your again.
Okay. So we gave them a heads up. Hey, we're coming for this. Do you want to give it to us? No. Okay, then we'll fight for it. Hey, we're coming for this one next. Do you want? No. Okay, we'll fight for it. Hey guys, we're coming for this one next. Okay, you guys can have it. I mean,
there was never any warning for any of it except the very last one.
It was warning like within the last 10 minutes. So all those discussions between Fluffy and Sid happened, and then it went radio silence. It was discussion about, hey, we're going to go this. We were thinking about this direction. Let's start working to find something else. If people had actually found something else, then that would make it a peaceful takeover. That's the difference.
So it wasn't peaceful. Stop saying it's peaceful. It wasn't peaceful. So, which is totally fine. It's fine. Nobody is saying it has to be peaceful. It's like, just represent it correctly. But that's the biggest frustration for people is like when somebody's not being honest about it, like when you're trying to paint a picture that's not true. And that's our biggest problem is we see these pictures trying to be painted for the server as a whole. That's just not true. And it's okay. Like, you ain't got to lie to kick it. Everybody's heard that. And it's true. Like, no stories need to be made up.
Again, I'm still sort of unclear. Epi said one thing and did another. That's why you're at war. So, because you over communicate with one another, there are issues.
No. We're at war because Epi declared war.
Yep. It was the end of the conversation that I was having with him, where I was calling him out, saying, like, "Yeah, dude, why did you flat out lie?"
Inch said that, you know, we want to make war because you guys are being dicks about this. And then Epi said, fine, war. Here you go, war. He ended the conversation by saying, fine, we're going to war, instead of continuing a conversation. He didn't like the way that conversation was going. And no doubt, Inch is an asshole.
Yep.
You know. So, yeah, he didn't like the conversation because Inch is being an asshole. And you're like, okay, fine, but that's why Epi declared war. So Epi started it, regardless of what somebody was saying to him. He's the one who started the war. Those are just facts. That's just what it is.
So, okay, this is.
I know it's so hard to wrap your brain around it, and it's interesting because this is the first war that I've been in where there has been such a weird side psyops, multiple discussions from other people saying what the war is and whatever. Most of the time, it's like, oh, we just didn't like the fuckers. You know, that's the kind of wars that normally get started, or they were hitting our ISO, or I don't like the color of their Badar. I mean, like, whatever.
Just don't like you.
Right.
I was about to say skin, but whatever. Well,
it's all the blah 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 that's upsetting. It's like, dude, if you just want to be a war, that's fine. Fucking say that.
may I try to understand this in a way that I could kind of understand the psyops part of it. So if MBD said they wanted a particular salt territory, you have showed up to help defend salt, right?
Yeah, just to put up a defense, of course.
Okay.
We didn't show
Which
up.
means
We were led to believe that they didn't want it. We weren't there.
right. So which means hold on. Wait. Handy, shut up.
Oh, okay.
Would MBD be able to take a territory if Nona is helping Salt?
Yeah, they probably still would have taken it.
Mm-hmm. I do not disagree.
Really?
And that's mainly because they've fostered extra support from outside the alliance using said psyops.
Correct. Like if it was MBD and MPD alone, like when we went and have had RTC battles, it has been nothing but Nona and Salt and some of Cube. So if it was legit, one team versus the other kind of thing, I think it'd be a very fun battle. It wouldn't be the absolute lag fest that we all know and love. It would be laggy, but not the, I can hit something every 5 minutes kind of game. But it never has been. It's always, again, not trying to point fingers, just, saying factually speaking, there were people from multiple other alliances in those TC takeovers, which, I mean, again, just makes it the friggin' lag fest.
Which is fine. It was successful. They won.
Right.
They got.
I mean, I'm not going to blame somebody's strat, but
no, it's strat. We're not saying it's a bad or good, or we're not saying anything. It's just facts. This is what happened. And they, like, you can ask people, top people that joined in these takeovers what they were told by MBD leadership.
Let me ask this.
And they were told things that weren't true.
Without Nona support, could Salt stand up to MBD?
No.
No. All right.
On a one-on-one battle, MBD deserves that territory. That's never been disputed.
Okay, but here's the thing. Could MBD take another territory? Like 1v1? Is that possible?
Anything's possible, but I don't think so.
Anything's possible, but it would be difficult. It'd be an uphill battle for us, but it's like you said, anything's possible.
So, if MBD wants a territory, without prompting, anybody from Nona and just take Salt's territory, wouldn't that be more of a, quote, I guess, fairer way of taking a territory, as opposed to potentially asking Nona for support or stacking Salt or whatever?
What are you asking?
What I'm saying is,
No, I get what I get what he's asking. So what Tech is saying, like if again there were no side discussions, let's just say for example, there were absolutely no side discussions. Let's just throw all of that away. I don't care who talking to who. If there were no in-game transmission or Discord or whatever, and just one day, MBD shows up and takes territory from I don't fucking care who, then that's totally legit. People were talking about I forget who was Koba, the territory that we took from Koba. We didn't talk to anybody. We just took it. The difference is that there was specific communication that said from their leadership, from MBD's leadership to NONA leadership, that said we are not doing this. That's the contentious part. That's really it.
I'm not, and like I said, guys, I'm not in leadership, so I don't have access to the leadership channel. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that's correct. I don't know whether it is, whether it's not. Everybody's got their own opinions, their own views, whatever. Okay. What is the difference between our leadership saying that we're not taking that and NONA leadership saying we're going to everybody, not just to one alliance, to the whole freaking server, we're going to do peaceful takeovers now. Everything's going to be peaceful. It's going to be decided in advance, whatnot, and then going after Koba without any warning whatsoever, completely wiping them out.
Never agreed to peaceful takeovers. That's a common misconception.
Handy, you started this whole peaceful takeover thing. The day you started the conversations, you invited me into the server.
Yes, I did, but that was never Nona. That was me.
So here's let me jump in here because I've been really quiet the whole time, just kind of absorbing all this. Here's the right or wrong. Just as I'm just going to weed through this because people appreciate my candor. So, basically, what happens is NONA, as a whole, as a team, is upset that MBD, as a team, essentially lied. Right. So if I tell you I'm going to do one thing and then I do another, that's called a lie. Now, whether you intentionally did it or whether it was accidental and you changed your mind later on, the very fact that you said one thing and did another is, by definition, a lie. So this is the reason why the being upset is present. It has nothing to do with anything else. So going back to...
But you're assuming that that's correct. You're assuming that that's correct.
Well, I'm telling you it is.
I don't know whether it is or not, and there's nobody here to verify that.
Epi, in a conversation, admitted to me that that's what happened. So you can ask him.
So here's the thing: this is the reason why they're saying that we're upset. So anything else, it's just like I used the example earlier about the isogen. I was hit OPL isogen by somebody, right? By back in the day from someone from RMU. Now, I don't care if you hit me OPL for anything. It doesn't bother me. But what the upsetting part was, and I use the term upset loosely, the upsetting part was the fact that you're part of an alliance who has agreed to not do that. So it has nothing to do with the OPL, and it has everything to do with the fact that you said, I'm not going to do that. So it's going against the word. That's the issue here. So there's nothing else. There's no other... You're not going to be able to find a fault in anything else, because at the end of the day, that's not what it is. And of course we could say, well, that may be the reason, or that may not be the reason. They are telling you that is the reason. It has been allegedly confirmed that they were told one thing and something else happened. So, right or wrong, I'm not saying it's right to be upset about that. I'm not saying it's wrong to be upset about that. All I'm saying is that is the reason that they are saying why NONA has declared war, or MBD and NONA have declared war on each other, because that seems to also be an area of contention. So it really is as simple as just one person being upset because they were told something by someone else. Now, of course, if that's up for debate, whether or not that happened, that's the conversation that needs to happen, not what happened 6 months ago or a year ago. That's my opinion. I value everyone's opinion, but It seems to me that that's the area of contention, is whether or not they were told by MBD that this was how it was going to happen, not something else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, that's not even how the war started anyway. This came about after the reason for the war started was disproved. Where Inch is threatening to stack salt and wipe us off the map if Fluffy doesn't send screenshots and all this about how Deportus, how Salt decided to stand down and Deportus was handed over to us. So then after that was disproved and realized that there was I think Mr. Hamster said or maybe it was Sid said they kind of dropped the ball and didn't let Nona know what was going on with that or something. I don't remember
that is
exactly.
True. That is
And
true.
so then the war started. So then after the fact now, when that has been disproved that is how it happened, and that is what Epi was trying to tell Inch how it happened, and then Inch is demanding screenshots and threatening to wipe us off the map, and it's going to be war, right? Now that point gets disproved, and now we're onto this. Oh well, Epi lied to us a week ago, which again I don't know, and the only thing I can say to that, if he said it, Fluffy handles TC. There's discussions about it, so we may have been planning on going north at the time. The other thing is, if I'm in a fight with somebody, I'm not going to choreograph my punches. You know what I mean? They're gonna know my opponent's not gonna know it's coming. You know what I mean? So this is a war game. So there is that part of it also that you have to think of. And like I said, I don't know. I'm not in leadership. I'm just saying we could have been going north. I know we did go north at one point and take Nierheimer. Fluffy talks to everybody and tries to figure stuff out. Some people want to work with us, some people don't. So it's very possible that the plan's changed. Okay, I've never known Epi to outright lie.
No, I'm not. I don't think anybody's saying Epi.
This came about after the initial conversation about Deportus, and now all of a sudden, now the psyops from Nona are changing to we're at war because Epi lied, not we're at war because Inch threatened to wipe us off the map and go to war with us over Deportus and a misunderstanding between you guys and your ally.
It's so funny, the difference in the narrative. It just cracks me up.
Hang on, Inch. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not saying we're at war because Epi lied. We're at war because Inch was an asshole and Epi didn't like it and declared war. There's no disputing that. That is absolutely why we're at war. Inch was an asshole. I like calling you an asshole, Inch. Sorry.
I get that. It hurts a little bit.
I've heard Inch call himself an asshole. I don't even think he's going to disagree with you.
This means that I withdraw all 10 fucking minutes of everything I said. Goodbye.
No. But Medic's right. That is not why we're not at war because Epi lied. We were pissed and are still pissed because Epi lied. Not intentionally. I don't believe he lied intentionally. I just wanted him to say, look, I'm sorry I lied. And we would have stopped being pissed. But he wouldn't say it. He kept refusing the fact that he lied or misled. Now, it just is what it is. So it's all a bunch of miscommunication and people being, alphas and puffing their chest up, and nobody wants to take a step back, and that's fine. Now we're at war, so that's just the truth.
All right. So what we got to do is we got to get Epi in here, and then Inco's got to say, "I'm sorry for being such a dick," and then Epi's gonna say, "Sorry, you pissed me off, so I took your shit," and then we're done, right?
That's up to Epi to do. If he wants to reach out and mend fences, he can do that.
And again, in Epi's defense, I did talk to him about being on, but he's hosting for the Super Bowl, so he said he was unable to attend today. But I mean, eventually we'll chat it out and whatever. But there are plenty of other things that we can be doing between the alliances. And like I've said before, the whole idea is trying to work as people. And I'll be the first to say that in this game, because we don't really have anything in order to force gameplay because of that shield button, that a lot of these discussions on the side, be it Discord or voice or whatever, that a lot of us put a whole lot of faith in, from human to human, because in-game personas for some people are vastly different than the type of people that they actually are. So when those get convoluted, I think that's what gets screwed stuff gets screwed up.
Absolutely. I'm secretly a 14-year-old Filipino girl.
That lines up.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's tough. It's tough to run a cult from your basement. I mean, I'm just saying.
My basement keeps flooding. Goddamn.
It's even harder to run it from your mom's basement.
It's true. It's true.
Hey,
Mom!
boom. After listening to what we just listened to, is the territory the way it works on 34 is so... I just can't even wrap my head around it. It's hard for me to relate. Are you feeling the same thing?
Oh yeah, very much. Like,
I mean, I'm not trying to be judgy. I'm just listening, and I'm like, but this is just so
No,
fundamentally
this is
different.
good. Listen, I'm gonna pretend I'm now the fourth host, and this is good. Let's hear let's hear a comparison of how it works on 34 versus on your server. That would be really cool. I think that'd be interesting.
we just
Hold on, Boom. First of all, Medic, you would be the fifth host, but for those of you listening, Boom is officially part of the team. So sorry,
Oh, okay, cool.
the fourth position
Sorry,
has been
Boom.
taken.
My bad.
You're like the fifth Beatle.
Okay.
ouch, that fifth beetle. That's rough, buddy. No, on 45, you guys seem to have a little bit more of a drive towards
Socialism?
server.
It's like it's like territorial socialism.
Yeah,
I'm
server.
Chinese. What do you want? Jeez.
We're the mongrel horde, man.
Yeah, no,
Mongrel horde.
power plays on our server. Like, you want territory.
You cut out there, Boom.
I think we lost him.
All right, so what he's saying is power plays. So if you want it, you got to take it, pay for it in blood. You want to keep it, pay for it in blood. For example, everything holds 20 territories right now in 45, and we hold 5 of the 6 3 stars. And our ally holds the 6th.
Do y'all have to show up for like every TC battle like regularly, or are they?
No. Well, it varies from alliance to alliance, state of readiness. We do have a level of, no, not every, but I believe that you would probably find our level of vigilance exhausting or perplexing. For example, in DE, in the early days, we had, people weren't taking territories serious enough. So we have our territories divided up into priorities. But the lower the priority, the more risk it is. Priority 1 is a high risk system, usually a 1 star. If we lose it, it'll mess up our buffs, easy to take. And so when a 1 star, when a priority 1 territory defense comes up, that means all ships, all docks, PvP crews ready to go if you're online. So yes, we have a high level of vigilance. We took it. We took a lot of it. We paid for it, and we're going to continue to pay for it with vigilance in our defense.
And hopefully I'm coming through clear again, but that has dropped off some as well. Like, at first when territory came out, it was all very conflicted, of course. As we filled the map, put allies next to us, and basically set the map how we want it, we don't really have to worry about 2 stars because outside influences can't do that. And then 3-star territories, kind of the same thing. So really at this point, it's only the 1 stars we have to pay attention to. And the number of alliances that we haven't already placed in territory, like the ones that we displace, are usually also beaten down enough that they're not a real threat to retake territory. Because we do, like, this goes back to the earlier discussion, but as much as, hunting miners, everything, like, you spend months being unable to do something and alliances fall apart.
I mean, we talk a lot of shit, but we really aren't kidding. We've destroyed I don't know, 6 to 8 alliances that they do not, either they're completely gone from our server, or they're these little husks laying around with, less than a dozen inactive players still in them.
Well, and that's one of the interesting things that, because that has not happened much on our server, but it did happen during the previous arc where they had the float around TC game or event, and we went and split another alliance who then their immediate response was to drop every single piece of territory that they owned, and this is actually the territory that's in conflict now, interestingly enough. And that basically was the end of that alliance. But it was interesting. It doesn't happen much on our server.
You know how when you declare war on somebody and it's a little contentious, and that there's that first day of the war where all your guys sortie, and that's all they do that first day, is they're just actively hunting and calling out targets in AC and sweeping territory, taking out all the miners, shutting them down at events. That first day?
Mm-hmm.
That's every day when you're at war with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've trained our people that way. We actively motivate them. We organize them. So imagine that first day of that high intensity of the war. And then imagine if you're, you would love it, Inch, but imagine that for 3 to 6 months. Your alliance is a smoking crater. If you're the losing alliance, it's just a smoking crater is all that's left.
So in your experience with these, the teams that you go against, like how often do you find that there is active retaliation or active warring? Like, do you find most of the time that there is, or 80% of the alliance shields and goes to sleep?
It's relatively often. We like one of the last wars. We had BE was the number one alliance. Then we went to war against HCTP and Epic, which I think were at the time 2 and 3 or 2 and 4.
Epic was 2 and HTP was 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. But so these are not small alliances, and they have they were hitting back the same thing. The difference is they did kind of as like Ocm was saying. Okay, day one they get all their guys. They're running around. They're hitting our miners, hitting our armadas. Most people, like what I tell my guys is, it's all about. It doesn't matter if they blow us up 10 times to every one time we blow them up. As long as we continue and outlast them, we can break their will. It is just all about commitment to the cause. And our guys, that's what we do. We do not stop day to day to day to day. And eventually, most people in those other alliances can't sustain. So they absolutely start out fighting back, like no question.
Mm-hmm.
But they just can't maintain it. They're not crazed people like we are.
Yeah.
We set a very high ops tempo and we maintain it day to day.
Yep. Because that's been our experience over the past couple of weeks, is that we have people running around and and it's look how much we've blown up, X power versus y'all's power. It's like, well, but there are like 7 people playing, which is just it's interesting to me that stuff still goes on.
You got to shut them down.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we're seeing. It's like, okay, no, we can't blow up as many of y'all because they're not out.
Yeah, but if they're not out, that means they're turtling. They're not playing. So if you keep them turtled for months and months and months, they lose their will.
Yeah, I mean that's our plan. That's the only plan we got.
We're not finding us.
And we didn't get there by accident. We organize, we train, we recruit specifically for, hey, if you're not down for that level if you're a more casual player, there's better alliances for you. No harm, no foul. That but those are the expectations when you come here. And if you can't meet those expectations, you're going to enjoy another alliance a lot more. And people take great pride in in being with us, because we set a standard of excellence, and we excuse me, and we hold people to it, and they can take pride in that, and they do.
I heard you, Medic. You say we're not finding you?
Yeah, we're out. You're just not finding us.
Your base is in DeLorean, by the way.
You're you're focused on. Well, I'm not out. I'm not out right now. Yeah. I mean, you guys are. I see like you and Smooth and a lot of guys concentrating on our territory area. And I mean, obviously, that's the first place you're going to look for us. And we're out in every system: G3, G4, G5. Actually, no, not NONA, but I've found some salt and cube mining G2 as well. And that's where we are, man. We are spread out throughout the galaxy, so we're finding you guys everywhere, and you guys are not finding us, and that's why the numbers look a little bit skewed.
Well, the thing is that it's cool to do the chest beating thing, but like I was just posted in chat. I had a Latinum miner that was zeroed out for 5 hours. And before that, it took an hour and a half to mine it down. So it's 6.5 hours. And I was in a very common system. I was in the middle of freaking Wolf. Like, people can literally live there and no one hit me. So, I mean, like, it goes both ways, right? Like, no one's any better than the next. So we can do all that stuff all I want to. But honestly, people just get sick of it. They're like, man, if I don't mess around with other people, maybe I can try to focus on getting my mining done or whatever, you know? And people on both sides are going to do it. And that's just the way it goes, man. It is what it is. We'll blow each other up for a while, and then people finally get sick of it, and then we'll go back to being normal. I mean, for us to pretend any other thing is going to happen is silly, right? Like, it's a rinse repeat scenario.
We've set a different expectation for our people. You don't pass up a red.
Yeah, it's been entertaining. AC is great.
If you're flying around in a system grinding, and there's a red in that system grinding with you, it's going to get seen, and you're going to be answering to leadership, saying, "Hey, we set the expectation. Are you confused about what the expectation is because you're not meeting it?"
Oh yeah, and I don't think there's an argument that either team is not doing that. Like if you see a red, I mean, trust me, reds are getting hit. Or they're warping out or cloaking or any of that stuff. Like, like Ocm, like we were talking about last week, it's like, isn't that weird, that shippability when you go into a system, it causes other players to warp or cloak or shields to go up. Like, that's definitely happening. And there's nobody that's like, oh, we're going to farm and here's this red and we're going to ignore it. It's like, it's just the number of reds that are out there has become so disproportionately smaller, that, we're hunting around.
I don't know what's going on your server, but in my experience, they're trying to wait out the first couple of days of the war. They're counting on the fact that after a couple of days, the op tempo is going to grind down in a low gear, and they're going to be able to get back to their dailies and their events and their mining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's generally like the case, though. I mean, like, for the first few days, I couldn't put a miner out for longer than 5 minutes without somebody hitting me. And fast forward, not even like maybe a week later or whatever, I pretty much do whatever I want. I leave floating ships all the time and nobody hits me. I had 3 ships out yesterday. I was in swarm space, which is pretty heavily traveled. I was in wolf mining, and then I had my jellyfish running missions in systems where literally everyone that's doing the missions has to go, and no one hit me. So it's not anything against anyone else. It's just that people just get sick of it. You only have so much time in the day to play the game, and you're like, man, I see that guy, but man, fuck this shit. I gotta hurry up and get the shit done because I gotta go make dinner or whatever, So, I mean, shit just happens that way.
So I heard there's actually an arc going on. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, it's not much of an arc, so I think, yeah.
Like, literally the only thing that's been exciting about this arc, which I've heard from everybody, I know you all said, was the extra ship, the dock.
Yeah, the dock.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the fact that there finally was another spend event so that I could start upgrading some stuff. At least for me.
You know what? This is probably one of the few times that I think I'm going to say that me and Inch are 100% in agreement with each other.
Well, that was a long conversation about something I couldn't really talk about. So
I'm
I was like
I'm
just
looking
muted
around.
myself and just kept quiet.
Yeah. I mean, but
I
it's
just got
interesting
my T7 Pylum, by the way. Any crew suggestions for traders?
for traders for a plum.
52s, yeah.
For the 52s. I mean, generally speaking, if you're hitting, it depends if you're hitting up or sideways or whatever. So with a plum hitting 52s, you're kind of hitting sideways. So I still would use like Gorkon, Killa, Kurla, and Tilly.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, that works fairly reasonably. Or
But what tier is your Pylum?
it was 10 or 11.
Yeah, exactly. Mine's only 7, so there's a very big difference. I tried 5 Marcus and
If you got a T7 Pilum and you want to hit 52 traders, I would use Picard, Crusher, and Con.
Bev and Con, yeah.
Bev, sorry. Yeah, Bev. Con, Bev, and Picard is captain.
Yeah, or
I tried 5 Marcus and
Con.
Kang, and Kang actually. I
Oh,
tried
Kang.
Khan. I'm going to try Khan as well now. I did the Kang first because that was actually Kang was doing better for me than Khan for 51s. But I'm going to try it out now. I got about 6 or 7. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, you should, you still obviously use a PMC crew to hit the 51s on another ship, and then
But it won't
generally
reach. I don't have any other ship that reaches 230. That's a problem.
So yeah, you can go 5 with Synergy and Con. That works very well.
Yeah, I always use when I'm hitting up or I'm doing my daily combats. It's always 5 Marcus Con. That's my hitting up crew every single time.
Okay, I'll check that out next. I just sent Picard, Bev, and Khan already. It's already 7 minutes warp. So next try.
But see, I also don't grind anywhere that I don't base. Like it's too time intensive. It's too inefficient to try to grind. When you're shooting for your 1500.
I'm doing testing. I'm doing testing for the best way to get my dailies done. I'm not grinding right now.
Nope, totally get it. But I'm just saying on a side note, because that was the big difference for me from, when I was grinding in Fed space, that 51 to 53 survey area is, the Tygork of the new, G5, right?
Jesus Christ, Tygork. You're
I
fucking
know,
killing
right?
me, Inch, with this shit. Tygork.
Tygork, dude.
Look, and it's a Haida, okay? So fuck off.
You're a Tygork.
Yeah, I know I am. But that's different from like when you're farming in Romulan space, and the only real reasonable baseable area is the 53 to 55s and their surveys and battleships. So now you got to change up your mindset a little bit into how you attack it. But when I mean,
And she's been watching the original series a little bit too many times, where they mispronounce Klingon. They say Klingon. We're Klingons, Captain.
Well, look, I can hit buttons, okay? Fuck off. Again, running a cult is hard.
And your accent's great.
But yeah, it's very different. Nah, fuck you.
Well, fuck you too.
Yeah, there you go.
That reminds me of that Ron White skit. You know what I'm talking about?
The which one?
Or he was talking about how he was on the debate team in like high school, and some guy made a point, and he goes up and he says, "Well, fuck you," and his jaw dropped. I left him speechless. I thought I won. Nothing. I get nothing for the audience today.
Yeah, you got nothing out of it.
Miss. Sorry, bud.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Trying too hard.
So, anybody else have anything to bring up? It's been a pretty productive discussion. Good talk.
We pretty much covered all the bases. This arc is boring.
Has anybody looked ahead? Like, I mean, I don't even read the announcement stuff, like to see what's coming up and whatever. Has anybody actually looked at it? Is there any event that's actually entertaining upcoming? Has anybody looked?
The other day, I was actually looking forward to the Armada event because I would have something to do. How sad is that?
Oh God. Ugh.
There's literally nothing to do in the game. I mean, at least there was some engagement. I had to do a few Armadas to get my event done. Otherwise, there was literally my alliance. Normally, it's always online. There's always someone talking in AC. It's been dead. Nobody wants to play this arc.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it was it's kind of a bonus because there was a lot of stuff that we had been putting off because there was never a good time to do some alliance reorganization and territory stuff and this, that, the other thing. And not giving a fuck about the arc has made it easy for us to finally get those things done. We've gotten more accomplished in the first week of this arc than usually we do in a whole arc.
Yeah. Then even in the off season, when
Yeah,
it's cow and
off-season,
whatever.
We're like, I don't give a fuck. Let's just do all our stuff that we've been wanting to do, but there was just never a good time because there was just too much going on.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Yeah, and off season actually is a really good metaphor because we rebalance, trade negotiations, cap moves, all of that.
Yeah, I'm actually doing what you guys said, what you normally do between arcs, like housekeeping, getting your data up, getting your ISO up, getting a bank of all that stuff. That's what I've been doing, and I've been hitting scouts like a madman. I've come up to like 50,000 messages each right now. I'm so bored.
I've been restocking my ISO.
You still mine ISO? Oh.
No, I just like having so much of it. I don't have to. If something happened, I like to know I have a 2 to 3 month supply.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. It's, it cracks me up that they still haven't updated any of the refining stuff, that it's still like we all feel obligated to do it. But like if you just stopped using the refinery, like unless you're a free to play player, like it really wouldn't change anything.
No, but it would change for ISO. You definitely need to do ISO. And in fact, surprisingly, G4 is not too shabby. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot, but at least there's a small drip feed. But G5 has been really bad. All I get is commons.
I haven't mined ISO in months.
How do you get your research done? Oh yeah, you would just pay. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't buy that many packs.
Yeah.
Well, because
I can't.
because the research is now 1 million of the refined ISO per tick. So it's like, again, it's a diminishing returns thing, right? Early on it's like it's super important and I did it, but like now it's like, what the fuck is the point?
Oh, I mean, I need like 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Right now in ISO, and I get 132K a day.
It's still exactly. It's a drip feed. At least, I mean, instead of paying, if someone doesn't want to pay, they can. Okay, maybe every week or every 10 days you get a research done, but at least you're getting it done.
So every 7 or 8 days, or starting to get 10 now. I get enough ISO refined that I do another of high level territory research of the new territory. I mean, if somebody was pushing me hard, if I had an opponent that was my peer and pushing me hard right now, yeah, I'd probably go the pack route because I'd want to get. I want the edge, but I'm not feeling that right now. So,
yeah, actually, that's true.
I do the ISO refine because yes, it is about every 8 days now I can do a research, and it gets me there. The G5, I still do it. I do those just out of habit because seriously, you get what, 20, 40 uncommon crystal, for example. Then you look, what's it going to cost to upgrade this platform? It's only a 53 still. Oh, that's still 20,000 crystal. Dude, 20, 40, even 100 a day. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Even the events don't pay out that much, actually. The events pay out so little. 41, 80, 82 for the dailies. I mean, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the G3 numbers for the G5, it makes no sense.
Yeah, but like for example, like the whole reason the only reason I'm even mining is it's really the daily. Because I mean, You know, like the Klingon mining daily gives me 23 million freaking rep. I mean, that's good. That's the refine is kind of like, secondary, like who cares?
Yeah, but you have, because you're mining anyway, you may as well do the refine. I only do the 50K
No, absolutely.
one. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's not like you mine it and forget about it just for your daily and, not get a little something extra, but the little something extra is just that. It's like,
Exactly. I don't even look anymore. It's just something I just click every morning. Whatever I get, I get. That's my mentality now.
But how much you get is like if you went on a road trip with your family and you drove, the whole way, let's say from like, Kansas to Colorado or something like that. So you've been in the car for, 8 hours or whatever, and you're pulling into the city and your significant other goes, "Hey, do you want me to go ahead and take over now?" Like that's about the amount of extra help you're getting there.
Yeah, no, they're literally pulling it into the parking space. That's
It's
it.
like, do you want me to go ahead and parallel this sucker for you? Like, yeah, go ahead. Thanks. I appreciate chipping in. Good times.
Yeah, G5 is really bad. G4 was not as bad. G5 is really bad.
I was crunching numbers. If I can get, say, 50 from my refine out of G5, if I can get 50, uncommon or a day, that means 30 days equals just slightly less than a third of a pack.
Yeah.
Because I get like 1,668, but I get it of
Exactly.
all three.
It's basically they want people to pay. They're making it such that people have to pay. Like how the 40s came out, they made people pay. Same thing with the 50s.
Wait, Scopely wants you to buy packs? Stop it.
No, what I mean is, see, people like me, I'm so dogged. I'll buy a pack or two a month, and I'll just slowly push through the events and do what I can. If I don't, I don't. But they basically want to catch the impulse buyers like you who cannot wait and just dump. You know what I mean? I'm not. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, how far along are you guys for getting cloaking on your amalgam?
I haven't actually pulled a single of the chest because it said tier 2 to tier 5. So I'm actually curious if it actually gets better at tier 6. So I'm holding off. I haven't pulled a single chest actually yet.
Yeah, I would have to go look because I haven't cared. Like I've done the amalgam pulls, but I haven't converted any of those things that you can use to get the cloaking.
I have 10 out of 80 shards.
You have 10? I got one of the big pulls the other day and I'm up to 20. Which, still is like, holy cow, that's going to be a long time.
You can cloak the amalgam? What the fuck?
Yeah. Now, in theory, yeah, I mean, it'll be a while, but yeah, amalgam cloaking's coming. That's going to really be exciting. Because we've talked about before, like the ultimate play style, right, is to send it in cloaked. I don't care who's raiding, and preferably if you are in a, tiny alliance, you have no RSS, and a big alliance cracks somebody, you go in with that sucker cloaked, you grab a scoop, and then disco that son of a gun out there ASAP. Call it a day. It'll make it really interesting.
Why can't they cloak the Vidar? That'll probably be useful.
If they cloak the Vida, it'll be more used for what do you call harassing people and griefing people than actually anything else.
Yeah, I mean that does seem to that's the most common OPL hunter that I see.
Yeah, because the big fast, it's got a more firepower than a miner, and it's got a big hold for a warship.
Yeah, because it has the biggest hold for a warship until you get into the G5s.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, guys. I guess it's been a good discussion. Hopefully we'll get Epi next time.
Yeah, we'll keep working on it.
Like Medic, I could feel from your silence that you're like, fuck this thing.
Silent contempt.
Discord hates me. That's like as soon as if I stop talking for like 5 minutes, it doesn't want me to talk anymore.
Can you put that feature on Handy's Discord? Thank you.
And Booms as well. If
Yeah.
you're going to do one, might as well do both.
That's right. Help a brother out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, let's try again next time. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for coming. This has been Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
I'm Strange Kirk.
And I'm Handy.
And we'll see you guys next time. Feel free to jump into the after show.